Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cut, and I'm here to do a little pocket to go in our Victorian journal that we've been working on. So I've just taken a glassine bag and I tea stained this one, that's why it's so light, and it didn't, take a whole lot of it, but it's just lightly tea stained, and then I painted it just a little bit with regular white acrylic, and I put a little red in. If you have pink, obviously you don't have to do that. I just wanted a really light pink, so that's why I did the white and the red together, so that I could barely have any red in there. So I just went this way and that way, and then I kind of wiped it a little with a towel, just to take a little bit off so that it's not so covered, and I let it dry. So I'm just going to ink around the edge of this. And I would have done that on camera too, but then I got to let it dry. So I just went ahead and did that real quick because I figured that's not super complicated or anything. And then I think I'm going to take my brush and do this. Just to get a little bit of that back on there. And you could skip, the painting. It's not necessary for this. I just kind of wanted to do that. Just adds another layer. You could also decoupage on here. I know a lot of people do that. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit of fabric, and I kind of want to use this. I really love the rose on this. So let's see. Scissors. Sorry about that. That was probably loud. Alright, so I'm just going to do like this and tear across here. Then I'll have more scraps, right? It never ends. Never, never. Okay. Kind of do that. I just want, a fairly good sized piece. I want that rose is what I really want. Even though I know we don't have a ton of this blue color, blue-green, kind of seafoamy, whatever you'd want to call it, color, I think it's fine. Okay, so I've got that, and what I'm going to essentially kind of do is build like a little fabric cluster for the front of this pocket. So I'm thinking this might be kind of cute. It's got this trim, but we're going to end up covering that whole thing. I could use the other end and not worry about it. That would work. Because I do like that lace there. Could come down even further and kind of have it hang off the bottom of the pocket. How tall is that going to be? And check that part. And wide too. Oh, see, yeah, it's going to be wider than our page. I could cut it down and do a shorter pocket going the other direction. So maybe I'll do that first. It's kind of a bummer, but I'd rather have it fit, so. I could have sewn it into the signature had I thought of it, but I always forget about doing that for some reason. Not very even. My husband's on a conference call. If you watched my last video, I'm doing them both the same day just to give me a little time at the end of the week. And I know I don't have to do one every day or whatever. I just I like to do them every couple days. So this isn't gonna fit. It'll fit right to there. I'm just looking at these little points where they hit on there. So I think I'm going to cut this at its mark here, and then I'll trim a little bit off of the sides. I got this for 50 cents yesterday at a thrift store. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I'm just trying to find where that spot is. And about right here. And I kind of want some threads sticking out of there, if possible. Some things don't fray as well as others. So yeah, even when my husband stays home from work, he's working. Because he's a workaholic. It kind of just comes with the job, I think, but anyhow. Okay, and I've not done anything like this before. I'm just kind of wing-dinging it because I just wanted to use fabric on there. Let's see. So this, maybe? Alright, so this one maybe here. I'm going to trim off a few of these long strings. I don't think they need to be quite that long. Okay, and then maybe some kind of trim or something like. I have this old vintage rickrack that is all, you know, like gotten colored with the sun or whatever was hitting it. It's just kind of cool. Yeah, I like that, and I may even just cut the pocket down a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna go stitch all this together and then I'll be right back. Okay, hi, change of plans. Sorry about that. I got looking at this and I was just about to stitch it and I was like, I want it oriented this direction. So I cut the sides off of the glassine bag. I'm trying to see. I cut about, I don't know, 1/4 inch off of each side. So for one thing, that will allow me to open it up and stitch all this stuff on, which is another thing I wanted to do, which you can't do when it's, you know, when it's all a glassine bag, because you'll stitch the bag shut. So I cut 1/4 inch off of both sides of my glassine bag so that it'll be oriented this direction on the page. And then I added a lace up here. I wasn't liking the rickrack. And then, because it just looked too, it was a little too, what do you call it, like the shabby chic look. And I mean, this is kind of that, because I definitely lean that way, but it was a little cutesy for my Victorian theme. So I kept this fabric and this one, and I wanted this lace hanging down, which is part of the direct reason I wanted it oriented this direction. So now I'm going to go stitch it. I just wanted to explain to you guys, you know, because I know you like the steps, and you know, if you change your mind or make mistakes or whatever, how you fix it. And so that's kind of why I wanted to come on. So sorry to stop and start so much. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the whole picture. I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So I stitched all around. So I left the pocket opened. There's a string. I left the pocket open while I stitched like the picture on and all that. So I opened the whole thing out and put it through the sewing machine, stitched this on, stitched all around. The only thing I did when I closed it is stitch down the sides. So that is that pocket, and we're going to put it in here, and I want to do a journaling card for it, and I need to figure out where I need something. I need to do something here. That's a spot where I can do the pink paper. I don't want to have too many things in, you know, one signature and not very much in another, so I think I'm probably this one. Is that that same girl? I just realized I think I used her twice, not meaning to. Sorry, let me see. It is, it's just a different color photo. Ah, that's crazy. Oh, but she's holding like a whole bunch of flowers and stuff. It's the same girl, she's just wearing different clothes. I get it. Alright, so let's see. You'd think they'd do like different poses on them or something to... Just trying to see where I want this. Sorry, I should have figured that out. Oh, this would kind of be a good spot. Or these spots where there's like... it's the music page, but that's a good picture, but the other side of this, which is where... Oh, come on. Where is the other side of that music page? Sorry. Because I know that there's spots that are just like on the music page that aren't real great. Well, it has to be here, right? See, like this is just the tree, which isn't very exciting. So that would fit on there. Yeah, I think I'll put it there. So I really didn't need to paint on this glassine bag. This just goes to show this is a super good example of how you can change your mind entirely. And that's why, you know, it's kind of hard to plan, because even though I kind of had an idea and a plan, once I started doing it, I wasn't liking the way it was looking. So I kind of changed it up completely, and part of it was obviously the size of the bag. That made a difference. And come on, lace, work with me. And the other part was I you know, changed my mind. And so it just is a really good example of how you can change it up. You don't have to go with what you originally were thinking. You can make it how you want it. Alright, so I've got this paper that we used in the last video, and I'm going to make, oh whoops, I need that page still, because I need to figure out the size of the pocket. So I'm going to try to kind of get from, she realizes, well, for one thing, my cutting was crooked when I cut the bag. What's new? And then two, it's not on there totally straight. So we'll go with 4 1/4. That'll be a good size. 4 1/4, somewhere around there. Let's see what this is looking like on the other side. Four and 1/4. Get this out of the way. It's a tricky part when you're doing this and you don't have enough room in the camera shot to have much of anything. So I want this end. 4 1/4 is going to cut where? Right through their faces. So I'm going to go over just a little bit more this way. And then I'll have to trim just a tiny bit off of one side of whatever I end up using. And I'll probably use this bottom portion, I think. I like that rose, but oh, and how deep is it? That's another good question. It is, let's go with, it's not quite 5, so if we make the card like 5 1/4, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to leave my ruler in there. 5 1/4. That's actually going to get a lot of that. Okay, and then we're going to make it a little short, a little smaller this direction. I'll probably add some other things to that. That's a good size journaling card. Let's make sure it fits in there. And I did leave it open behind, which I may end up closing it now that I'm seeing, because the glassine is so thin that it's all going to get caught up on there all the time. But it definitely fits in and out. So let's just close the back of that behind that pocket. I thought it would be good to leave it open, but I can see that it'll just be a problem. Because those little edges are going to get mangled. Sorry, I'm just gluing this down. I want to get all those little teeth down. Got too much down at this end. There's always new stuff that comes up, I'm telling you. Always. Every single day I think, oh, I totally know what I'm going to do. Whether it works or not is another story. Okay, I'm going to leave the little bone folder in there just so it doesn't glue together on us. And then we will, and I'm sure there's an easier way to do it. You guys always tell me when there's easier ways. I'm not always good at that. I usually find the most difficult way to do everything, I've discovered. Just kind of the way I am. I love these kind of birds, but he's got such long feathers at the back. Now, do I like the brown one or that? Oh, see, he's got his tail cut off. There's one that's, but it's going to cover other stuff. It's always tricky to figure out what you want to use on these. I really like that one. That one's really pretty, but it's so small. Nope, nope, and nope. Okay, let's see. What about a rose? I think I just like the bluebird. And we'll put maybe a little fabric or something behind it. So let's see, I got some new lace yesterday. Sorry, they really have it rubber banded up. It's got the whole netting, you know, like to stitch it on, but I don't need all that. I'll probably cut most of that off. I don't think that's what I want. Yeah, I went into this thrift store yesterday and got totally lucky, man. I don't know what in the world happened, because that normally doesn't happen. I usually go in and I might find like a couple little pieces of fabric. These are all kind of stained weird. But I don't generally find anything very cool, but these I thought were really neat looking. Still need something else. Something else. These are all just different types of like labels and stuff. I thought I had Rachel's doilies over here, but I don't. Got this out of a Memories of a Lifetime books. That's just going to cover all that up that I have. I really want to find a doily. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go find a doily. Oops, sorry. Okay, hi, I'm back. I found them. Move these other ones out of the way. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want. I'm worried this might be too thick on here. That fabric. It's probably going to be too much blue. I'm going to take that off because I think that's throwing me off for some reason. I think I just might want part of it. It's getting a little bit better. I don't like the color of that. I mean, I'll ink this a little bit, but still just so white. Sorry, feel free to fast forward. I just, you know, some of this stuff takes some time to figure out. And that is one thing about junk journaling, is it is not a quick craft. So like, if you think you're just going to quickly whip stuff together, I kind of just like that. It's probably not going to happen. At least it doesn't for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's just one of those crafts that takes some time and thought and all of that. I think I just like that. That's just a piece of, I have those die cuts that have that kind of ruffly edge on them, and so that's what that is. Just a piece of that. Emulation is laudable. Modesty is admirable. I like those old sayings like that. I think I'm going to put that one on there. So true, right? Emulation is laudable. So, I mean, these make great backgrounds, these collage sheets for sure, but also like you saw me do the other ones where I didn't, oh my goodness, couldn't see that, it was right in front of my face. I did not put anything else on them, so they're kind of neat either way, I think. Just want to take that down a notch, it was very white. My birdie's edge. I don't fussy cut right up to the edge because there's always these weird spaces in the middle. And so if you leave that white edge, it makes those make sense and you don't have to try to cut those out too, even though I know you can cut them out. They're a pain to cut out, so actually kind of oh, we need to cover the back too. Almost forgot that. I'm going to use the manila paper on this one just for something different. Birds are just singing away today. The sun is shining. Hallelujah. That's all I got to say about that. I can only handle so many gray, rainy days before I start to lose my marbles. I don't know how people do it in like Seattle and stuff like that, 'cause I just can't. I just get wacky. I'm just gluing it over here if you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and put these on while that kind of dries for a second, and then I'll cut it apart. Let's go down just a little. Put our little label on. Not a very exciting label, but it just needed a little something there, and I just feel like that was it, so. I don't know why. It just was. I'm going to use a different page. This one has pictures. So does that one. So use that one. If I ever do another Asian journal, I don't know. I did one. And, there's videos on it in my list. And I'm gonna, because this is printed on thin paper, I can squeeze it a little here and there, not just one spot though. It's like crumpling all in just that one spot. Still want to be able to read it. Oh, come on, I know you can do it more than that. Okay, now we can cut it off of its background there. Okay, so I'm going to stitch around that too, but I don't think I'll make you guys wait. You get the concept on that one. I'm just going around the edge, that's all. I'm not doing anything other than that. But we can put it in here so we can see what it's going to look like. Alright, so that'll just go right in there, and I may put a little piece of fabric up at the top just to, you know, decorate that up a little bit more. Hope you guys liked that page, and I think it was good to show, you know, you sometimes have a decision and it's not, doesn't end up that way. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we will chat again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.